From smartphones to smart homes, every part of our lives is being disrupted by technology, and it would be easy to assume that the world of appliances is immune to such change. Now, you may not see this stuff down at your local Best Buy right now, but believe me, change is coming. And here at IFA 2017, we've been checking out some of the competing visions for the future of the appliance.
I'll do the nylon things next, Judy. Okay, Mom.
Now, it's easy to take appliances for granted, but historically that's where the biggest innovations have been made. I mean, the electric cooker is only 100 years old, and electric washing machines didn't really proliferate until after the Second World War. And people like Hans Rosling have always said that the washing machine is probably the greatest invention of the modern age. After all, domestic labor has always been unfortunately treated as women's work, and when those processes were automated, it freed women up to go off and do other things. But what's interesting is that the principles behind the washing machine haven't really changed that much in the last 80 or 90 years. But there is still room for innovation. At the show, Samsung showed off its new quick drive washing machine. What it's done is it's separated the drum from its backplate and placed them against two separate motors. By getting the objects to work against one another, the water inside moves that much more vigorously, and combined with the machine's new built-in AI, Samsung claims that laundry will be done in about half the time it used to take. But IFA isn't just about incremental change, it's about big ideas, and there have been plenty of those on show. For instance, LG was showing off its Styler. Now, if you're unfamiliar, it's a wardrobe-sized box into which you actually hang on coat hangers a couple of outfits at a time. There's a reservoir of water at the bottom, and when you shut it, it's boiled as steam and the clothes are gently shaken. And LG claims that what happens is that your clothes will come out beautifully clean, nice and fresh, and completely wrinkle-free. And the company claims that your clothes will last longer because they're not being bashed around in a drum during every wash cycle. The thing that stops this popping up in every home across the land is the price, because right now you can get a 3-outfit sized version of this thing for a little over $2,000. Yeah. As a counterpoint to this, some companies aren't trying to reinvent the wheel, but instead make their existing products that little bit easier to use. Take Hoover, for instance. Their kitchen of the future is basically going to have all of their existing devices with Android touchscreens and cameras on the inside. One of the ideas is that you can actually watch the progress of your plates being cleaned when they're inside a dishwasher. And this isn't just for novelty's sake either, because there are obviously smartphone connected appliances already. But when those devices are able to all communicate with one another and there's joined up thinking with the rest of your smart home, your life is going to become immeasurably easier and things are just going to get that little bit more convenient. Even further into the future, the idea of the washing machine may go away altogether. Panasonic was showing off a concept device called the Sustainable Maintainer, which basically is just a whole wall as a laundry. You'd give it all of your dirty clothes and then a robotic arm would pick up each item in turn. It would use a camera with computer vision to scan the item, checking for dirt and to look for the washing instructions. Then it would place it into a chamber where special nozzles would spray on a predetermined amount of detergent to make sure it was completely clean. Then it would be passed through another chamber where nozzles would suck all of the liquid out before finally another robotic arm folded it all nice and ready so that you could put it straight back in the drawer. Now, right now, this is a concept device and Panasonic doesn't think anything will be ready for sale for another 10 years. But just imagine what life will be like when you have a robot dry cleaners inside your home. It's not just laundry where big ideas are being tried out. Panasonic also showed off its vision for an autonomous refrigerator that actually comes when you call it. Right now it's basically just a box with a robotic vacuum cleaner on the bottom, but using indoor mapping and LiDAR, it should be able to navigate your home once you bellow, "I need something from the cooler." Now, Panasonic's positioning this towards the elderly and people with mobility issues, but I can see a lot of people wanting to use it so that they don't have to take their eyes off the screen during the big game. And then there was the crazy idea being shown off by German appliance maker Miele. The dialogue oven doesn't just use normal oven heat to cook your food, but electromagnetic waves. And we're not talking about the waves that you would find in a microwave either, but the EM waves that you would find coming out of a mobile phone tower. Now, the company claims that this technology will dramatically reduce cooking times while still keeping things flavorful and healthy. One of the big examples that they used was that a pulled pork that would normally take 12 hours to roast will taste exactly the same after just 2. And just think how much you'll be able to get done in your day if cooking times are slashed in more than half. So if you're itchy to get working on the kitchen of the future, it's probably best if you sit tight for a little bit longer. Unless of course you're a professional basketball player, in which case you can use those footwear sponsorship millions to just buy the prototypes right now for all of the bragging that you're going to do on MTV Cribs. But more importantly, just think about how big the changes were when these devices were launched originally. I mean, what's our society going to be like when all of these chores are done entirely by robots?